Hey guys, my name is Zara Step with Step Above Massage and Wellness, and today I'm going to guide you through a follow along foam rolling video. We are still focusing on the lower body. I do have a video that I will link for the quads and adductors. Today we are focusing in on the hamstrings. We're going to hit the adductors again, but a different orientation, and then the calves. This is all going to be really great for you if you sit or stand a lot. If you have any ankle, knee, or hip issues, this is going to really benefit you. As we're going, we will be working at a scale. We're going to use an intensity scale from 1 to 10. 1 is like, meh, don't really feel anything. 10 is more like you can't breathe through it. You're clenching your jaw, squinching your eyes. You're holding tension in other areas of your body because it's too intense. So we don't want to be at a 9 or a 10. We're working at more of a 5 to an 8. Ideally, starting off when you're warming up the area, lower on the scale, and then as you get into the tissue and you start finding areas of tenderness, that's where you can work at like a 6, 7, maybe 8, where it hurts so good, therapeutic discomfort. For your foam roller, ideally you're going to have a smooth, somewhat soft foam roller. I got this one from Walmart for like 10 bucks. But if you have one that's bumpy or has these ridges on it, we can make that work too. You're just going to be mindful and go a little bit slower. Try to find a more broad surface versus like these smaller bumps and ridges. Okay, so we're going to get started on the hamstrings. We're going to spend about 2 minutes on each area. And when we do this style of foam rolling, we're focusing on smaller areas. So we're going to bring the foam roller up into the attachment where the glute and the hamstring connect. So you can do this in a position where you have your hands posted back behind you. This is a great way to start warming up just by bringing the foam roller up to that upper thigh. You might find that it's hard to get enough pressure in this area. If you do have tender hamstrings, you can work like this. But if you want to go for a little bit more, what we're going to do is we're going to pop up onto the leg that we're not working, kneeling. If you need some support, you can always fold up a towel or a blanket to put it underneath your hips to give you a little bit more elevation. And then the foam roller, you're going to bring that right up to the top of your thigh where the glute and the hamstring connect. I call this the thut, the thigh butt junction. You're going to start to breathe, taking nice deep breaths in and out through your nose. And what you might notice is if you turn your toes slightly out or slightly in, you're going to find different angles of that hamstring attachment. And you're looking for areas of tenderness. When you're doing body work like this, you want to focus on a smaller area and then really allow the muscle to relax, melt into the pressure, breathe into it. Keep trying to soften that area that you're working on. Sometimes you might notice when you first get into an area that you don't feel that much. It might feel kind of numb. And when you do feel that, try to bring your breath and your awareness a little bit more focused. What I'm noticing in this hamstring is when I turn my toes, and it's not just my toes, it's my entire leg, so the shin and the femur, away from me or towards the outside, that's where it starts getting a little bit more intense. So when you're doing foam rolling or you're using a massage ball, you're kind of chasing or following the tenderness. The tenderness is an indicator of where you need to do the body work, where you need to focus. This style that we're doing is similar to myofascial release or trigger point therapy, depending on the area. The key here is just to go slow and do very small movements. So we're not doing anything crazy. As the intensity decreases, which you will notice, you might go to an area, you breathe into it, and then it starts to decrease. That's when you have started to release those tissues, and then you can again start to follow or chase the tenderness. So I'm just going to slowly keep millimeter by millimeter turning my toes out to follow that tenderness. Now, to add even more intensity here, you can try lifting up through the chest, especially if you were in kind of like a little cashew position, lifting up and then anterior tilting your pelvis. So if you imagine that your pelvis is a bowl of water, you're going to tilt your pelvis forward so the water spills out Now, go slowly on this motion because that can also really increase the intensity. So we've hit about 2 minutes on this side. If you're a beginner, 2 minutes is a really great place to start. If you have done this kind of body work and you know that you don't get sore after 2 minutes, then you can slowly start to increase the amount of time that you focus on an area, 3 to 5 minutes. I wouldn't really go beyond that, like 10, 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Again, for the other side, you can either kind of post yourself up and back and try to warm it up, especially if you know your hamstrings are really tight and tender, or when you go into that kneeling position, you're like, ooh, that is intense. Warm it up first, and then we're gonna pop up onto this knee. You can put a little support there if you need. Take that foam roller all the way up to that thigh butt junction and breathe. I'm not really doing any movements at the beginning here, just trying to get an idea of the landscape of the muscle tissue in this area today. You'll notice that it changes day to day based on the activities. If you've been traveling and sitting a lot, or if you have been working out a lot, you're going to notice different things in your body. So I really encourage you each day to come in with like a beginner's mindset and getting to know what your body is telling you today, listening rather than assuming. Okay, and also our sides are different. You might notice that one side feels more intense than the other side. I'm going to kind of slowly explore if I rotate my whole leg out or in where I feel the intensity. And what's interesting is actually on this side, it doesn't feel as intense when I turn my leg out like this, but what it does feel is stuck almost. Like it doesn't want to go that way. It's not too tender, it just doesn't really want to go. So even that, noticing that as I breathe into it, it felt kind of numb at first, and now it's starting to unlock the sensation. So breathing, feeling into your body. But as I was saying when we were on the other leg, you don't really want to go too crazy 10 to 15 minutes on an area because it is possible to bruise the muscle tissue and create more pain. So we want to avoid that. Again, if you're a beginner, starting with 2 minutes on each side is a great starting place. Play around here with maybe adding that anterior pelvic tilt, so lifting up through your upper back so that we're not rounding so much, and then tilting that bowl of your pelvis forwards. It's a tiny, tiny movement. So here, my pelvis is tucked, and then here it's starting to go into that anterior pelvic tilt. And I notice like I'm really sitting onto this leg. If I shift myself back up and onto the foam roller, ooh, there it is. So foam rolling, I wanted to do these follow along videos because when I see people doing it at the gym and stuff, oftentimes they're just rolling back and forth, and that's great if you're trying to warm up the muscle or not do this deep tissue work. But what I do notice is when you do this style of work, you get a lot more pain relief. So I wanted to create these follow along videos just to guide people how to start to tune into your body. So there's the general technique and approach that we do, but ultimately you're the only one that can feel what's going on in your body. So really bring your awareness to the area. You can do foam rolling while you're on Instagram or watching a show and whatnot. But again, I just don't think you're going to get the max benefit that you could get if you turn your awareness inward. Beautiful. That's about our 2 minutes on this side. So let's go ahead and release. You can just notice, maybe shake out your legs, see how that feels. You can walk around and see what you notice. The next spot though that we're going to go into is the adductors. In the quad video, we did the adductors down by the knee where they attach, but now we're going to do the adductors up where they attach at the hip. The hamstrings and adductors like to get kind of stuck together. So that's why I wanted to show this one. So we're going to lay down. I'm going to start with the right leg, but you can do whichever one you like. And you're going to kind of frog leg the right leg out about a 90-degree angle. This is a very loose interpretation. And we're going to bring the foam roller up nice and close into your groin. Now, this is an area that desperately needs attention and body work. It is just a very vulnerable area to do body work or to receive it. So what I have found is that it's best to just do it on yourself. So foam roller is a great way to have more of a broad surface area. What you might notice here is if you're posted up on your forearms, you're going to start feeling it maybe into your lower back. So you will consider laying down. You can stay up on your forearms, bring a little bit of engagement to your lower abs, or just go ahead and lay down and make it kind of restorative. So breathing into the area, bringing your attention there. The most powerful tool is your awareness for pain relief, for stress relief. And we're going to kind of follow the area of tenderness. So as I was here, I definitely felt it, but it's starting to dim down a little bit. So you might need to pop up just to change the angle. And I'm just doing tiny little movements, shifting backwards. You can shift your pelvis forwards. And the closer I get in towards the groin, where the attachments are, to the pelvis. So your adductors can create hip pain, low back pain, knee pain. It's really a puzzle. It's not like one muscle is causing the pain that you might be experiencing. It's a combination of a bunch of things, but we're just exploring and helping releasing some of these tissues so that we can move better. Body work and massage isn't the only answer to pain relief. There's definitely also the component of doing remedial exercises like physical therapy, strengthening exercises, doing stretching as well. It's just a part of the equation. Good. I'm noticing as I shift the pressure back a little bit, where the hamstring and the adductor attach, that's where I'm really feeling the tightness, the intensity increases. So again, we're massaging or doing body work between a 5 and an 8. You should be able to take nice deep breaths in and out through your nose. And you should be able to keep your face relaxed, the rest of your body relatively relaxed. I know we are posted up on our forearms, so there's some tension in the upper body. But in terms of the legs, I can really focus on that area. Good. About 10 more seconds. Breathing. Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Taking it into the left upper adductor, hamstring area. So we're going for this meaty kind of section back here and up and into the pelvis or to the pubic area. Not only is there a lot of tension in this area, sitting and just the way that we walk and everything creates that tension, but also emotions can get stored in this area. So don't be surprised as you get up into this area and as you relax and soften and as your body learns to trust you, because it really is a trust relationship that you build between your mind and your body, that you might notice emotions come up in this area. Really depends on you. I'm not going to say like necessarily a specific motion that might come up, but just depending on your experiences and your story, you might notice tension and emotions being held in different areas. The neck and shoulders are a really big one, pelvis, hips, adductors, the inner thighs. So if anything does come up, just hold yourself with compassion, with breath. Know that you're safe and it's okay. Feelings don't last that long. If you actually allow yourself to fully feel the emotion, it really only lasts about 90 seconds. It's when we repress our emotions and stuff them back inside of us that they start to become consuming. Breathing, following the tenderness as we stay here. It might shift and the area you're working might become less intense, which is amazing. That's a good sign that tissues are releasing. And so then you might have to shift and find another area. And you really need to, for me, I feel it as I shift backwards towards the hamstring attachment, but it might feel more intense for you if you shift forward. So follow that. I really just wanted to help create the time and the space for this type of work for you to do. It's not like a a necessarily super strict ABCD formula. It's really intuitive. Good. Let's go about 10 more seconds or 2 more deep breaths. As you inhale, breathe into the area of tension. And as you exhale, really allow those muscles, tissue, tendons to melt. Good. Okay. Let's release. Again, notice how you feel. Shake out your legs, walk around maybe a little bit. You can always pause the video if you feel like you need to spend longer on an area or if you did have an emotion come up. But next we're going to move into our calves. Calves can be, they definitely also hold a lot of tension. I don't know many people that when I get into their calves that they don't feel something. Now, the area that we're going to focus on the calves is more towards the outer edge. A lot of people tend to walk with their toes turned out a little bit, and we overemphasize external rotation in our culture and just the way that we sit and walk. So we are going to focus on that area and releasing. What you might notice when you put one leg up on the foam roller is it doesn't feel that intense. So if you need to increase the intensity, we're going to cross the other leg over top, and you might need to kind of adjust where it is to apply more pressure. Then you're going to slowly turn your toes out, and you might notice this band of tissue that just feels very taut. And that's where we're going to focus on, and that's where we're going to breathe. Again, if you aren't noticing a ton of sensation, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to add more pressure. It might just mean that you need to bring your awareness and your breath there. So keeping the rest of your body nice and relaxed. If you have a wall to post up against, that's ideal, but you can also just do it sitting in the middle of the room. Bringing your attention down into your calf, to your lower body. Sometimes we get really stuck right up here in our heads and being so mental. Thank you to our minds. It's an amazing construct. It helps us to be productive and creates a sense of safety, but we also need to connect into our bodies. So dropping into our calves, giving them some attention, noticing what's going on there. Especially if you are very active, hiking, running, athletic, you might notice some good tension here. If it's not too tender towards the upper calf, you can always adjust and roll down and see where it might be a little bit more tender. I do feel a good, nice, like ropey bit of muscle through this outer edge of my calf. So I'm trying to orient the angle so that I'm applying the pressure from the foam roller and my top leg right on that band of tension. So it's easy to kind of slip off and go to the side of it, but you want to apply the pressure directly on top of it. So adjusting as you need to, tuning into your body. It might be more tension up towards the knee or down towards the ankle. If you do want to add in movement to do an active release, you're just going to do little movements through the ankle. But when I say little, again, it's like millimeters, not inches. So we're just going very, very slowly, pulling the toes back towards your face. Oh yeah, and right there. And you'll notice that increases the intensity. And if you can hold it at like a 6, 7, 8 and breathe into it, that's where you're going to get the most benefit and release. Good. We've got about 10 more seconds here. And as you go through this, if this is your first time doing it, you're just going to get a really good idea of how much tension this area is holding. If you notice there's a lot of tension going on, as a beginner, instead of extending the length of time you spend on the area, what I want you to do is increase the frequency that you do this kind of work. So if you notice hamstrings, adductors, calves have a lot going on for you, what you do is increase the frequency. So instead of doing it just once a week, you might do it every other day or twice a week. Let's go ahead and switch legs. Other calf, noticing again, you are an asymmetrical creature. We have a dominant side. So one side might feel different than the other. Explore up towards the knee and then down towards the ankle, really following the areas of tenderness. bringing your awareness to it, your breath. Breathing. You'll notice that I have not shifted at all. And what was about a 7 is now diminishing down to like a 4. So I'm going to explore and see, oop, I just kind of shifted a little bit more towards center. And now we're back up to about a 7. Just briefly. Good. We've got about 20 more seconds on this side. Really encourage you to pick one of these videos to do every week. I wanted to create this resource for my clients as a resource in between our sessions, but also for the community at large to really take pain relief into your own hands. We don't always have the ability to get into the massage therapist, doctor, chiro right away. So just using a tool, a $10 tool at home, a $3 massage ball is going to create so much pain relief for you and just really empower you. This is one of my favorite tools that I've ever learned. And I will be adding more videos over time to this channel. So make sure that you are subscribed, like the video. If you have any requests, please put them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you guys next time.